Welcome to my Moment Anamorphic Drone Lens review. The Moment Anamorphic Drone Lens is the first, and at the time of this recording, the only lens of its kind. But don't run off and buy it just yet. I'm going to make you wait until the end to see if I think you should. The never-ending quest for filmmakers, at least from a visual standpoint, is to create the most cinematic look possible. But what does that mean, cinematic? Basically, all this means is that if something looks cinematic, it reminds us of the movies. This, as with anything, is subjective. However, factors that attribute to this look are lighting, movement, sound, depth of field, color grading, etc., etc. For me, and for our focus today, is width and aspect ratios. More specifically, we'll be looking at anamorphics. And, even more specifically, the Moment Anamorphic lens for the Mavic 2 drone. So, what is anamorphic? Its original purpose was to provide a wider field of view. However, audiences and filmmakers alike fell in love with the lens's characteristics: rich depth of field, unique linear lens flares, and oval bokeh. When Moment announced they were manufacturing an anamorphic lens for a drone, I was one of the first to pre-order. I've been a drone pilot since 2014. I've owned the DJI Phantom 2, Phantom 3 Pro, Mavic Pro, Mavic 2 Pro, and the Inspire 2. And the one thing I've always wanted with all these drones was a wider field of view. With the Moment Anamorphic, I finally have it. However, this width is not without its problems. First, installing the lens is quite anxiety-inducing. Moment makes a video that walks you through the installation. However, if you don't follow the instructions exactly, it's not going to work. For example, you have to install the lens while the drone is turned on. This makes me really nervous because I'm always extra careful about not putting too much stress on the gimbal. Second, even when you do follow the directions, it doesn't always work. I've installed the lens, calibrated the gimbal, and had the gimbal go limp or wobble or shake. I've also received errors saying Gimbal Overload. To correct this, you have to then turn off the drone, take the lens off, and turn the drone back on, reassemble the lens, and hope it works. I found this to be very tedious. Also, make sure you center the lens perfectly too, because if not, the lens will obstruct your field of view around the edges. Third, many people have reported problems with the counterweight rubbing on the gimbal housing on the back of the camera, not allowing it to have free range to tilt. I haven't experienced this, however, there is very little room for error, so I can see how this would happen to others. Lastly, I've noticed that when flying in moderate to high winds, somewhere around 10 miles per hour or higher, the gimbal is a lot more sensitive to gusts and shaking. You can't really make any quick movements either, or you'll get a decent shudder or wobble from the camera. All that said, when it works, the image is great. This is one of the things I've been hoping for when it comes to drone cinematography. This lens gives you many of the things that you would want out of an anamorphic: wider field of view and linear lens flares. However, the practicality of this in everyday use is questionable. Do I recommend you run out and purchase one? It depends. If you're willing to spend $300 on the lens and the essential ND filters for something that isn't really practical for everyday use, sure, grab one. It's not junk, it just doesn't work perfectly 100% of the time. If you have a tight budget and or do a lot of commercial work where you don't have the luxury to keep clients waiting while you assemble, disassemble, balance, and rebalance the lens, then I don't recommend this for you. All in all, this little lens is a great start, and I assume that's just what this is for the anamorphic options in drone cinematography, a start. And just like the evolution of film has over the years, the variety of anamorphic drone lenses will do nothing but grow wider. See you next time!